Good morning. It's Thursday, June the 23rd. I want to speak to you this morning a little bit about your R2 project. First of all, don't forget you have a quiz on Monday concerning all the short stories, lit, crit, terms, vocabulary that we've studied up to that point. Okay, now you've started working on your R2 project. That's great. So the first thing you do is you pick one of these topics. Let's talk about the topics for just a moment. That first one, explain the functions of the governing board in U.S. higher education. Okay, first of all, we're focusing just on American higher education in America. And we're focusing on just one particular aspect, that is the governing board. Every college, every university, every institution of higher education has a group of people who are above the president who keep watch on things. Sometimes it's called a governing board, sometimes it's called a board of trustees, sometimes it's called a board of regents. I think Harvard calls theirs the board of fellows or the board of governors. But every institution is going to have this. And if you decide to do that one, then you're just going to report on how they function, what they do, what their meetings are like, what kind of decisions they make, how they make their decisions, their training, whatever. I would probably pick 3 or 4 different specific institutions rather than just trying to talk about all of them. Look at specific colleges, universities, and then look at how their governing boards function. There's tons of research out there. All right, there's just one thing that higher education loves to do is it loves to study itself. So there's lots and lots of good publishable research. What is driving inflation? All right, if you're going to do that one, your thesis is going to have 2 points to it because the question has 2 points. Your thesis is going to have to say something about something is driving inflation and the best solution is something. Okay? So take a look at that. You can look at some historical inflationary trends. You can look at some recent inflationary trends. You can talk to different economists. Professors of economics can help. But just, what is inflation? Why has it spiked here in the last few months? And what can be done, if anything, can be done. Now, don't forget, okay, let's say you do lots and lots of research and you find, wow, there's one really great solution here, okay? You're going to put that in your conclusion. But this is not a mystery novel. Go ahead and put that in your thesis, last sentence of the introduction. The best solution to inflation is, blah, 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 and then explain, and then come back to that same conclusion again, all right? If you're going to do COVID-19, of course, we're talking about American public schools here. Public schools are pretty broad, though. Each state sets their school systems up the way they want to. So I would focus just on one public school system, talking about the Lubbock public schools or the Dallas public schools or the Chicago public schools, whatever research is out there. All right, now let me help you. Hopefully you've done some preliminary research. Maybe a Google search, you've looked at Wikipedia, you've looked at YouTube, you've just gotten some information. That's good, that's great. And that's really all you need to write your rough draft. Then you take that rough draft, you kind of massage it a little bit, you put some similar ideas together in body paragraphs. Then you write your outline, which is just copy and paste the thesis, copy and paste the topic sentences, then your works cited page. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to give me a chance to look at what you've done so far and just tell you, this looks good, this doesn't look good, this is unsupportable, this doesn't follow the topic, this source doesn't meet our criteria, this one does. It's just really a place for me to give you feedback so you can do well on that last paper, on that R2 final draft, which is worth, I think, 300 points. Does that sound right? Sounds like a lot of points. Hang on one second. 200 points. The final draft of the R2 project is worth 200 points, but the outline is worth 100 points. Now, the outline is simpler than you probably think. You're thinking, we're getting 100 points for that? Yes, because I'm nice. All you need to do, seriously, okay, this is the sample paper I've posted, is to type up something that looks like this. The way it looks on the page, the formatting is very important. The format should look very, very similar to this. Complete sentences, there's no sentence fragments. Thesis, underline, you've got the main idea there, which clearly refers to the topic. Then you've got topic sentences for each body paragraph. Also notice on the sample is good for a lot of ways. Notice the thesis. Higher education in America has been composed of many important first. Harvard was the first college. Dartmouth was the first private college. Joliet was the first community college. By using those repeated keywords, it's going to do two things for you. First of all, it's going to help the reader follow your ideas. You've got some pretty complex ideas going down, and so you want to make it as easy as possible for the reader to follow. If you use those repeated keywords like was the first, was the first, was the first, if you do that, it'll make it easy for me. Also, using those repeated keywords will make it easy for you. Okay? Again, look at the example. Harvard was the first college in America. What do you suppose that paragraph is going to talk about? Is it going to talk about Yale or Princeton or Stanford? No. That whole paragraph is going to be about Harvard and how it got started, who started it, maybe what it was first named. I think it was really first called Massachusetts College or something. They renamed it after the guy who donated a bunch of library books, when it got founded, where it got founded, why it got founded, its purpose, its reason. That whole paragraph is going to be about the founding, the creation, the origin of Harvard. And having those good topic sentences with those repeated keywords can help you so much. Okay? And so that's due June the 28th. All right. I hope you'll get going, get started on that, and let me know if you have any questions at all. Thanks. Good luck.